Welcome back to another episode of Rennch. I'm Michael O'Neill. First and foremost, I'm sorry it's been too long. I'm gonna tell you all about why that is, but in today's video, I'm gonna show you my brand new garage. This, my dudes, is 650 square feet of awesomeness in my new place in Long Beach. So I'm moving to LA, officially moving in a few days. But what I'm doing here today is I've just installed, I'll take you on a quick little tour, but I've just installed some killer LED lights last night. And I'm gonna take you through what I'm doing now, which is prepping and painting the floors. So here's the plan. I've rented this floor grinder from Home Depot. The machine was like 40 bucks and renting this thing was like 75 bucks for the day. But this is basically a disc with these super abrasive, can you see those? Diamond something or anothers. And that's why it's so expensive. And then I'm using this, which is Rustoleum Rocksolid garage floor coating kit. And this is polycuramine, so it's not epoxy, but I'm told that just like everything, the magic is in the prep work. So this will be a freshly ground, perfect surface to put this stuff on. And the plan is grind the whole floor. I'm gonna fix a couple of the cracks that are on this side, on your side, which is slightly bigger. But then behind me, which is where I'm gonna be doing the restoration of the blasphemy build, I can put the floor down. So I'm gonna put the floor down today, then move the cars to the other side, let it cure, and then move them back when I move in, and then I can paint the other side. So that's the plan. I will probably leave this thing on time lapse, and you guys can check out the grinding process. And then as I learn more about how to paint this thing, I will keep you guys posted, lest you want to do this yourself. First of all, that took many hours more than I thought it was going to. It's not quite done yet, but it's getting very close. I'll show you what we're looking for while you're doing these floors when you know it's ready for paint. So you see here how this water is absorbing into the concrete. That's what you want. So when you let this thing dry for a few minutes, you're gonna see these spots. You can sort of see them in the reflection where the concrete's literally just absorbing the water. It's doing it here on the edge pretty consistently. And when you do this well, like if you don't do what I did, which is to rent this diamond cutting tool, which by the way, I highly recommend, you have to make sure you do degreaser and then etch the concrete. So what this thing does is it effectively etches the concrete. So what I've been doing is just, obviously scraping and cleaning and scraping and cleaning and scraping and cleaning. I had so much construction adhesive on this concrete that it took me forever. Even though this is bigger, this bay, I actually think it's gonna go a lot quicker because I don't have to get rid of this construction adhesive. So I'm actually gonna try to get this done today if I can. Anyway, so I have a few spots left here of some schmutz in the corner and some more construction adhesive. And what I did is I got this. So this is what I got. It's the Avanti Pro 4.5 diamond turbo blade. And it's really a cutter. It's for cutting concrete. But all the other blades were $59 and $60 and this was 10 bucks. So I thought, let me give it a go, and it works great. I'll see if I can show you one-handed, and then I'll just try to film from the outside. But I mean, it's just cutting right through this construction adhesive. One tip, wet down your floors when you're cutting, because it's going to cut down on the dust significantly. You'll have to sweep a little bit more, but it will be very well worth it. I'm going to set the camera up and just kind of hit a little bit of the outside here, and then I'm gonna try to work on this transition area manually. And otherwise, this thing's sucking up the water really well. Let's see if I can flip over here. This is what you wanna see, is you wanna see the floor really sucking up the water. There's a couple of spots where it's just standing. And if it's just standing, that means there's oil or grease or something in the way. So there's maybe a little bit too much water on here right now, but if I get a squeegee, you'll see where the floor still has like an oil stain because the water will just stay on top. Okay, so that was probably more work than I thought it was gonna be, but that was many, many, many hours of surface preparation, hopefully to get the best possible epoxy floor. So right now I've done one final squeegee, spray, clean. I gotta say, if this stuff doesn't stick to this surface, which I would literally eat off of right now, then it is not worth its weight in salt. So we're gonna let this thing dry. We're gonna go get the gray ghost and bring it back to its new home. And we'll see you when this thing dries and start the painting process. All right, so this floor is ready to rock. It's etched. You wouldn't believe what this thing looked like before, but this thing is, it's really good. Looks pretty great. Looks like it's ready for some paint. And I'm gonna hit it. Well, I'm about halfway through the floor, maybe a little more than halfway. I decided I did not want to use any of the chips. I want a nice glossy sheen. There was more schmutz in, I mean, these walls are who knows how old. And as I rolled up onto the side, it pulled some dirt and debris down into the paint. So this corner kind of near the walls is a little schmutzy, but I think it's just gonna end up being, having a little more traction, but it's getting solid. Also, definitely use a roller on the walls. So I got like a rough, coarse roller, and just running up the walls was really, really easy once it was taped off. So I'm gonna do the rest of the wall on this side next, and you know, hopefully be able to finish the rest of the floor pretty easily. And then it just gets to dry overnight, and I'll pull the cars into this side, and hopefully we'll be good to go. This thing has a part A and a part B, and as you push it, kind of like a toothpaste, it'll break the seal in between, and then you've got 1 hour, basically, 45 minutes to use it. And you gotta mix it, they say, for really 2 or 3 minutes, so don't skimp on this part. As you can see, I've done the borders around this edge here and around the footers there. I just wanted to, like, they don't need to be glossy and awesome, they just need to be covered. And so I really want to focus most of the effort on getting the rest of the garage, you know, super shiny and nice. So it's starting to look really good. It gets a lot of little air bubbles, and so I'm sort of worried, like, I hope they eventually bubble and seal. I think they will, and I think hopefully when I come in here tomorrow morning, this thing's gonna look super smooth and really glossy. but I love how it reflects the light of the LEDs already. Like, it just makes it really bright and really good looking to work in. So I'm in this garage, and it's kind of a train wreck by comparison, but super excited. Let me finish mixing this and get going. Well, it's about 10:30 p.m. I started this process maybe noon. By the time I finally got back from Home Depot and got the grinder and everything, so I'm about 10.5 hours in. Pretty excited about how it's turning out. Have a look. I gotta say, I am thrilled with the result. I think it looks fantastic. It is super glossy, super shiny. Now, the surface isn't perfect. I'm getting a few like little craters in there, and there's some kind of sand marks, but you step like 2 feet back, you can't tell anything. And honestly, having a little bit of texture in the floor is not terrible, just in case it gets wet. I have crazy cool plans for this space. Not only finishing the floor on this side, but there's gonna be a huge projector movie screen. It's gonna be full Amazon Alexa enabled with cool LED lights and murals and a bunch of really cool stuff. So stay tuned for remaining parts of the garage build and, of course, of my new Lacern build. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I'll talk to you next time.